I'll be the first one to admit it, that the ending of Remake left me confused and with a sour taste in my mouth. All these years waiting for a Final Fantasy VII game, revamped, with modern graphics, was a dream that year by year kept dwindling. Then it happened. We finally got it. But after investing hours and finally beating the remake, man, for the first time in my gaming life, I felt flustered, betrayed, and utterly disappointed with the direction they were heading with this project. Story-wise, of course, the gameplay is phenomenal. But the thought of multiple timelines, the whispers, people that should have died still being alive, so many rampant thoughts rushed through me. But then something in me changed. The way I felt towards the game's story, it started making sense in the fact that this was in a way a sequel to the original. Now don't get me wrong, I still question a lot of it, and I know there's an absurd amount of people that just flat out do not like the game. But me personally, I grew to enjoy it for what it is, and that's why I still continue to make content and enjoy this franchise. And with Rebirth, literally a little over 2 months away at the time of this recording, I can safely assure you that the hype for this game is real again. With Square releasing the latest trailer a few weeks ago, man was I jumping out of my seat and quickly began to make a video. Hell, I'm willing to bet that even the fans who were upset with the idea of Aerith surviving, they were watching the trailer like,
Know that you'll find me promises to keep. We won't ever leave.
when they seen that iconic shot of Aerith praying, then with the black feather faintly falling in front of her face, they were probably going crazy.
She dies. She dies. She dies. What?
Now, we still don't know what the hell Square has up their sleeve, but with that ending shot in the trailer, they definitely are keeping us on our toes. Welcome to my first theory discussion video. I'll go over some well-known theories by the community, as well as this one particular one that I don't see many people talking about. The one that I'm referring to is the purgatory theory. Now, I did not come up with this theory. I actually read about it while I was at work one day, and it sparked an interest into making a video about it. For those who aren't familiar with my channel, I go by O10P. I typically only cover Final Fantasy VII content, but I do intend to expand my channel someday. You might have discovered my channel for all the Sunamod Echo S voiceover mods for Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VIII, Final Fantasy IX, no commentary videos. I also create mod showcases for Final Fantasy VII Remake as well. This video will truly be my first video out of my comfort zone, so constructive criticism is greatly appreciated. Now, with all that being said, find a snack and hunker down, and let loose as we indulge in some Final Fantasy VII Rebirth theories. This video will contain spoilers, so now is the best time to click off. This theory is very interesting because it does match up with a lot of things that we have seen so far, but also a lot of stuff does not add up. I stumbled across this website. This article stood out about Zack's timeline, or parallel world if you may, that it's not another universe but a purgatory that essentially stops souls from entering the lifestream. Now, if you know your Final Fantasy VII lore, the lifestream is where the souls of the departed go and then are reborn to be a new being. In the end of Rebirth, we literally see Sephiroth absorb all of the Whispers before the showdown with him. I can see somehow Sephiroth creating a purgatory realm to keep Zack and Aerith out of the lifestream, since, you know, in the original, Aerith died and went to the lifestream, but helped us fight Meteor with Holy. So not allowing Aerith into the lifestream might be something Sephiroth wants to do, so she can be trapped in the middle of the real world and the lifestream. This theory suggests that in Rebirth, all the events of the original will take place, including Aerith's death. but then waking up in the purgatory with Zack and Mako poison Cloud, following a parallel story running alongside the main story, trying to stop whatever Sephiroth's endgame is. In one of the trailers, they show us Tifa, Barret, Red 13, Aerith all dead from the collapsed highway, caused by a tornado that hit Sector 0, 1, and 2 in Midgar, in Zack's timeline presumably. Then in the most recent trailer, they confirm it more by a poster now including Jesse and Wedge. But apparently Biggs is still alive and talking to Zack. Now taking this theory in consideration, that will mean that all the people dead in Zack's timeline are actually alive in the main story. With that logic, it would mean that Jesse and Wedge are still alive in the main story somehow, and that Biggs indeed died and is stuck in the purgatory realm. In that same trailer, we see Zack and Aerith, as she is in a vegetative state, same as the Mako poison Cloud. So makes sense since they are also alive in the main story. Now there is a lot that does not add up or flat out not make sense. One is, since Marlene is talking to Zack, that means that she would have to be dead in the main timeline. But I don't see them killing off Marlene. Another is, how does she know a scary man is going to kill Aerith? You could say that Marlene is special in a way that she seems to be in tune with the planet, sort of like Aerith. Could that popular theory of Marlene being an ancient be true? If it is, it's not too far-fetched to have Marlene communicating through both worlds. Nomura has stated that the events of the trilogy will link up with Advent Children, so I guess in a way it's safe to assume that the timeline can't deviate too much, but only time will tell. The stuff going on with Zack has my attention because we don't know what the hell is happening. And I feel even after Rebirth is out, we still won't know what the hell is going on. There's also a big emphasis on the black and white feathers that we keep seeing throughout the game, even in the trailers. I think we can all agree that the black feathers belong to Sephiroth. Although Sephiroth only had the black wing in Advent Children, could that confirm that indeed Sephiroth is from the future, manipulating the events? Now for the white feathers, many people believe it could be Angeal's return to the story, since they appear when Zack died in Crisis Core. I think the white feathers symbolize Aerith from Advent Children all the way in the future. Somehow they are changing events through the livestream. How can that happen, you ask? If you read the novel On the Way to a Smile, they have stories from both Sephiroth and Aerith, labeled Livestream Black and Livestream White. They describe how the events of Advent Children came to be. Sephiroth claims that even if his spirit decimates within the livestream, that it would only take one fragment of memory for him to come back, and that he counts on Cloud's consciousness to bring him back. With that sentence alone, really begins to make me wonder if the only way for Sephiroth to truly die is for Cloud to die as well. Also could be why we see Sephiroth appear so early in the remake, since it's the black feather that causes Cloud to remember Sephiroth, and from that one feather we start to see him more often. Now for Aerith, it's obvious that she knows a little too much on what's going on. It becomes more apparent as we progress through the story. In the novel, there's this paragraph that really grabbed my attention. Aerith was well aware of what Sephiroth was planning in Advent Children relating to the remnants, Kadash, Loz, and Yazoo. She apparently considered to do the same, but she ultimately decided that even if that were possible, she would want to see Cloud again the way he remembers her. Now with that sentence alone, it really makes me believe that the Aerith resolution scene in Remake is in fact Aerith's spirit from the future talking to Cloud. It becomes very apparent. What I'm really excited to see is how they go about the part where Cloud has lost it and is beating the shit out of Aerith. I feel Square might censor that to an extent, unfortunately, or not even be included. I'm not supporting domestic violence, don't get me wrong, but that's a pivotal moment where we see Cloud, our protagonist, lose his shit in the OG, so I hope they do it justice in capturing that. Did you guys notice in Remake the beginning of chapter 9, where Aerith is waiting for Cloud after he sneaks out of her house? The way that she peeks out reminds me of that scene from the OG in the Sleeping Forest sequence, where Aerith tells Cloud she is going to handle Sephiroth. After that, she walks away and suddenly music starts and Cloud sheds a tear. That was the last conversation that Cloud had with Aerith before her death in the original, even if it was sort of a dream. With Cloud having all these premonitions of Aerith, it's interesting to see how they handle that in Rebirth, since it's confirmed that the final climax will end at the Forgotten Capital. Let's go back to the original, where Cloud was being manipulated to strike down Aerith, but he stops himself, then we get that famous CGI scene of her death.
Wait a minute!
Okay, that's not the scene I remember. Maybe the people that want her to die would prefer a more Disney-esque type of death for Aerith.
Around, every now and then I get a little bit terrified, and then I see the look in your eyes.
Turn around, bite eyes. Every now and then I fall apart.
And I need you now tonight. And I need you more than ever.
Hell no, I would lose my shit if I had a singing Aerith death in Rebirth. There's also a possible chance of her not dying, but in the recent Game Informer issue, they covered Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. The last paragraph will indeed dishearten a lot of fans regarding Aerith's fate. The heading of the last paragraph is literally called "Reborn Only to Die?" I'll just point out important pieces of it. Basically, they asked the development team about the famous death scene, and they say that the mood dropped into a somber state. They also said they feel they have achieved something that will shock even the players who have played through the scene. Now here's some important quotes from Nomura. He said, and I quote, "Beginning with the original Final Fantasy VII, when we had started working on it, it was already decided from the get-go that life would be the central theme surrounding Final Fantasy VII. I knew that we had to depict life and death within this title," he says. Prior to Final Fantasy VII, there have been other titles where characters have experienced tragedy, but many of them have come back or been revived in some way. But I believe that loss is something that happens unexpectedly, and it's not something so dramatic or drawn out, but it's something in which a person that you have just conversed with is suddenly gone and never to come back. I believe that the person who dies should not return to this title, and that is what we did with the original." End quote. Is he basically kinda confirming that everything's gonna go the same way, including her death?
Huh?
It's a little muddy, but the way Nomura kinda explained it on here, it's making it kinda seem like everything's gonna go the same direction. But obviously we have no idea until the game comes out. Now let's go back to when Sephiroth said,
Come over here and kiss me on my hot mouth. I'm feeling romantical. Oh my god, bro.
Seven seconds till the end. Time enough for you, perhaps. But what will you do with it? Let's see.
No, I still have absolutely no idea what the he is talking about. But I can tell you guys that I never knew this scene existed in Remake when you fight with him. Yeah, he has a 7-second countdown until he unleashes Divine Proclamation on your ass, and he literally throws meteor at you, and you automatically die. He does not give a shit if you have auto life, he sends your ass to the Shadow Realm. So with him saying 7 seconds until the end to Cloud, will we have to make a choice when meteor's about to hit in Rebirth, or in the last game of the trilogy? All I know is that I am super hyped for Rebirth, can't wait to see what the hell is going on. So that wraps up this video. If you guys enjoyed this in any type of capacity, I would really appreciate it if you can like the video. I'm a small channel and that would help me with the algorithm. Also, if you guys would like to subscribe, that would be greatly appreciated. This was a fun video to make and I have more content in the works. It might take a little longer because I'll be busy at work these next few months, but I will try my best to give quality content. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and I'll see you guys in the next one. Happy holidays.